Let's start with something to think about. Is there a prayer you've prayed, maybe more times than you can even count? One that feels maybe a bit routine now, or perhaps you even feel a little tired bringing it up. What would it actually look like to offer that same prayer again today, maybe with fresh eyes, a sort of renewed spirit? Just hold on to that thought for a moment as we consider the real power of persistent prayer, not thinking of it just as some kind of duty, but as this really deep, vital way we connect with God.
Yes, exactly. Today we're really digging into why keeping praying matters so much, especially, when the answers don't seem to be coming right away. It's less about like ticking off a box and much more about nurturing that relationship, that connection to the divine.
Right. And as we talk, we'll really explore what it means to see prayer as this living thing, this active relationship. We'll unpack that phrase, praying without ceasing. What does that really mean? And also look at why we sometimes get tired praying and what that might actually be telling us. Plus, we've got some, frankly, amazing stories that really show the impact of just holding on in prayer.
Fundamentally, prayer is about that relationship. It's communication. Think about any important relationship you have. It works because you keep talking, right? You keep being present. Prayer with God is it's a lot like that. It isn't really about finding the perfect words or, following strict rules. It's about consistently reaching out, making contact.
That makes a lot of sense. And it kind of reframes that instruction, doesn't it? Pray without ceasing from First Thessalonians. Because at first that can sound, impossible. How could you constantly be saying prayers?
But if we see prayer as part of this ongoing relationship, then praying without ceasing isn't about nonstop talking. It becomes more like an invitation to stay aware, constantly aware of God's presence, sort of living with this open channel, letting that dialogue shape our thoughts, our actions throughout the day. And because God is always present, always listening, that kind of continuous connection is actually possible.
Okay, let's talk about something I think many of us feel. We pour our hearts out, maybe for a really long time, and the specific answers we're hoping for just don't seem to arrive. That can make you feel really worn out.
Yeah.
You start wondering, are these prayers even being heard? Why do we hit that point of weariness?
That feeling is so understandable. It's a very human reaction when things feel silent. But maybe instead of seeing it as, oh, I'm being ignored, what if that persistence, even when you feel tired, what if that's actually an invitation? An invitation to go deeper in your relationship with God. Like stretching a muscle, strengthening your spiritual core. Every prayer, the whispered words, the quiet moments, even, tears cried out in faith, every single one matters. It's heard.
And we have some incredible stories that really highlight this power of just holding on. Think about a school teacher in the Philippines. For 15 years, she prayed constantly for her father, for him to come to faith. 15 years.
15 years. That's real dedication. A profound commitment. And then in 2025, after all that time, all that sustained prayer, her father did embrace her faith. And what she said about it is just so powerful. She said, I almost stopped praying, but God never stopped working.
Wow. Yeah, that really hits home. It's such a clear reminder, isn't it, that even when we feel like giving up, there might be something much bigger happening behind the scenes that we just can't see yet. It shows how sticking with prayer, can lead to things we couldn't even imagine.
And there's another story, this one from London. It started so simply. Just one person, we don't even know their name. This person felt led to just quietly pray for the other people on the subway during their commute. A very personal, quiet act of faith, right in the middle of the busy city noise.
And from that one person's quiet faithfulness,
Yeah.
something amazing happened. It wasn't planned. It actually inspired other commuters, a whole group of them, to start meeting together for prayer. Every morning.
Yeah.
Right there on the subway platform, people called it like a ripple of revival, starting in this really ordinary, everyday place.
What's so striking there is how one small individual act of persistent, genuine prayer, it just rippled outwards. It created this community of faith right in the flow of daily life. It shows that even our most private prayers they can echo out in ways we don't expect.
So when we put all these pieces together, prayer is relationship, God always being available, understanding that weariness, and then seeing these examples, these stories, what's the main thing we should take away?
I think ultimately it boils down to this. Prayer isn't meant to be just a one-off effort here and there. It's really meant to be a way of life, a continuous posture of trust, of relying on God. So the encouragement is simple, really. Keep praying, keep going. Trust that you are always, always heard.
And as we wrap up, I want to bring us back to where we started, that reflection. What's that prayer you've grown tired of praying? Think about it again now. What might it look like to approach that prayer again today? Maybe seeing it differently now, seeing as part of that ongoing conversation, that deepening connection. Perhaps that can give us the strength to persist.
That journey of prayer, it has its seasons, doesn't it? Times of intense asking, times of quiet waiting, moments of doubt, and moments of really strong faith. But all of it, the whole journey, it ultimately serves to deepen our understanding, to strengthen that bond with the divine. It's in the practice itself, in that persistent showing up again and again, that we often find the richest spiritual growth.